This is an area of environmentally sensitive land adjacent to significant bird habitations. Internationally significant bird populations are right in the middle of many proposed irrigation sites. Dr. Susan Walker says the application of irrigation to naturally dry ecosystems typically results in the loss of habitat for native species which are ill-suited to regular saturation. There are many potential adverse effects from extracting water to farm more intensively. Lakes Tekapo, Pukaki, Ohau and Benmore could be affected by algae blooms caused by farm nutrient runoff and the destruction of wetlands and natural habitats and flow of numerous high country rivers and streams. Lowering the water levels causes a major problem for the nesting birds as they lose the protection of the river islands where they nest, and the weeds provide protection for stalking predators. Long-term pouring vast quantities of water on these stony soils will result in further ecological imbalance and environmental stress on adjacent unirrigated land. The argument that the irrigation will control the loss of topsoil and Heraceium doesn't take into consideration the resulting environmental stress on adjacent land. These places will be colonized by yet more wilding trees, gorse, broom, blackberry, thistles, and yes, Heraceium. There is some evidence of regenerating tussock. Restoring full tussock can help overcome this Heraceium invasion. In Canterbury, we already can see the effects of excessive water extraction on our lowland streams. Nitrates from farming are seeping through our soils, polluting our rivers and contaminating our groundwater. Widespread nitrate contamination of the shallow aquifers of the Rakaia, Ashburton Plains has already occurred. The inadequate river flows result in poor water quality, low oxygen content, high bacterial counts, high turbidity, and a substrate masked by mud and silt. Canterbury's lowland rivers are polluted to the point where they're unsafe to swim in or drink from because of ongoing fecal contamination. Toxic algae blooms have killed dogs, which is what happened at the Ashley River last summer. A number of public drinking water supplies are now failing to meet drinking water standards. Land use intensification is having a serious impact on water quality. The existing dry and stony character of the Mackenzie Country will exacerbate this. For these reasons, we believe that the quantity of proposed water extraction isn't sustainable long term. We don't believe the applicants can ensure our rivers, streams and lakes continue to be healthy and safe for fishing and swimming in.
I can't catch that at the moment.
Long term, we believe the water extraction and proposed intensive cultivation are not sustainable. Urine from stock is a major source of nitrates. Using environmental Waikato data that cows produce 15 times more waste than humans, it would be like building a city of 270,000 people in the Mackenzie Basin and having them crap on the ground, says Russell Norman of the Green Party. There will be potential adverse effects to this unique ecosystem and landscape because of the massive increase in nitrogen on shallow, porous soils. This will contribute to a steady decline in water quality in what is an already sensitive ecosystem. We believe these applications will adversely affect the landscape and amenity values of the Mackenzie Country for us all. Our children will inherit the weeds and dried up rivers whose birds have gone. Worldwide, thousands of community groups are fighting the construction of new dams, reclaiming damaged rivers and wetlands, and cleaning up contaminated rivers and fighting to save endangered wildlife. At stake is the notion of the commons, the idea that through our public institutions we recognize a shared human and natural heritage to be preserved for future generations. Let's learn from the mistakes that are being made elsewhere in the world. Our Australian neighbours are living with the consequences of the over-allocation of water in a world poised on the brink of climate change. growing rice and cotton has brought the Murray River system to its knees. Water is our treasure. Let's not squander it in pursuit of farming that's unsustainable long term. Water is a public good that should not be given to a few individuals on this scale. Water belongs to the birds and the fish, and all of us for our leisure and enjoyment. Section 5 of the Resource Management Act is charged with promoting the sustainable management of natural and physical resources. We need to consider the long-term resulting water footprint and carbon footprint of these proposed water extractions, and not compound the problems of the existing human impacts on this environment. Environment Canterbury must consider the cumulative impacts of land use intensification in considering these applications. We want the rivers to stay healthy and our environment to stay as it is. We need to learn lessons from the past to prevent the situation recurring. Past human exploitation of this environment is no excuse for future short-term exploitation. Based upon the evidence of what is already happening to Canterbury's water quality, we don't believe granting these water rights will safeguard the life-supporting capacity of water, soil, and the Mackenzie Country ecosystems. To grant these water rights is not in the long-term social, economic, and cultural well-being of the people of New Zealand. We have a duty to protect this outstanding landscape of national importance under the Resource Management Act. It's more valuable to us long-term as a storehouse of our unique endangered plants and wildlife and possible World Heritage Site. We oppose the applications because they'll result in potential cumulative adverse effects on waterways and the natural existing landscape values of the Mackenzie Basin and the Upper Waitaki catchment. It's a matter of national importance that this unique historical ecosystem is protected from inappropriate subdivision, use, and development.